All right, if you are just getting started on your pursuit of whether it's becoming a musician full-time or an audio engineer or a producer or working in a studio or anything that falls under the umbrella of the stuff we talk about on this channel, I want to share some things that I've learned over the years, but mostly it all circles around one point. And the main point is obsession beats talent 100% of the time. Some people are just born with innate talent, and that can be performances, that can be singing, that can be songwriting, that can be producing. Some people just are really gifted, and they just have it. It came naturally. Everything about it just comes easily, and a lot of us aren't that way, but we do have something that sort of pushes us forward still, even in the face of not having the talent that maybe we wish we had. I can give you some examples. For me, it's been with playing guitar, and it has been with singing. I've always wanted to be able to perform and sing. Also, songwriting. And then there are other categories like recording and recording drums specifically. I've always played drums, but maybe you could say that I had more talent in the drum thing and I had less obsession with those other things. Now, I still do all of those things, but here's what I say when people ask me about playing like certain instruments and singing and stuff. I generally say I do play guitar, keys, sing, bass, but I've only ever been paid to play drums and to, make records and record and stuff like that. That doesn't mean I'm not good at those other things, but it is quite revealing that I've only ever been paid for these things. And I think the difference between these two categories is I'm just not obsessed with these things over here. I do romanticize them. I do enjoy doing them, but I'm not particularly obsessed with them. Now over here, the playing drums and the recording drums and just recording and making records in general, I am absolutely obsessed with. I mean, the people who are here at the studio see it every single day. And I've been doing this since I got my first interface probably when I was 15, maybe 16 years old. I've been putting microphones on drums and playing and recording drums since then. I'm almost 34, so it's been a long time. And I still am every single day tuning drums, changing heads, trying different microphones, trying different placements, trying different techniques, putting different things on the drums and the cymbals themselves, recording the drums in different ways. I absolutely am obsessed with playing and recording drums and producing. You could take that obsession of what I'm doing with the drums and replicate it to everything else, because I'm equally as obsessed with getting the sound, getting the thing I hear in my head out of the source. That is like my true obsession. And let's say you're interested in that and you want to pursue that career as well, but maybe you feel like you're not as talented at it, then the thing to be is to be obsessed, because I can tell you obsession beats talent every single time. The other thing I'm obsessed with is making these videos. I got into making videos out of sort of like a curiosity. There was sort of a financial need. I moved to Nashville and I didn't know anyone, and I was watching a lot of YouTube, and I wanted to figure out how to meet people and get them to understand like who I was and what I do. I also wanted them to find me when they typed my name in the internet, because it wasn't happening at that point. And so I thought, I guess I can make some videos. I watch a lot of YouTube, and a lot of the creators I watch have grown. I've watched them grow over the last couple of years. And a lot of these guys are making full-time money from these channels, in addition to whatever else it is that they're doing. The problem is I did not have any interest in watching content on the stuff that I was doing, which was studio work. I would try to watch videos on stuff related to the studio, but it seemed very lame to me. And I think there was some sort of limitations I had imposed on myself, and something about a dude sitting with a headphones at the screen that just was like immediately a hard no for me. I don't want to watch this. This is my 9 to 5. But I did want to make videos, and I saw the upside of doing it. So I had to reframe it in my head and go, okay, well, if I made videos, it would have to be about the thing that I do and have been doing for 10 years, because that's really all I know, is this thing that I'm obsessed with and that I do. So I can make videos about that, but I don't want to do it this way. So what do I do? So I basically just asked myself, well, if I'm not interested in that kind of content, the person sitting at the computer, what am I interested in? So I literally just went to my YouTube watch history and go, I don't know, what do I watch? What's on my recommendation page? What's in my watch history? And it was like a very clear pattern of high quality either storytellers like Casey Neistat, and then high quality production of interesting sort of tech and cultural, like MKBHD, Peter McKinnon, Becky and Chris, Sarah Dietschy. There are a lot of creators like in the sort of camera and video world, and a lot of that had to do with, I was already flirting with the idea of making videos. So I was watching, creators who make content on how to make videos. So these are all people that sort of found their way into my algorithm, and I really connected with some of these channels. So I was like, all right, I've watched like a lot of Casey Neistat this week. Let's see, what is it about Casey's videos that are connecting with me, that make me excited to watch every single one of the next ones? And it just was so clearly story and experience. He tells great stories. Whatever the video is, there's an arc to it. And then the experience of watching it is Casey bringing you with him on that journey. So you experience that story with him. And I thought, man, that is so cool. I would love to be able to bring people to the studio or bring people on the session to see some of the things that I get to experience that I do think are really cool. Like that, I don't see a lot of that. And so that started my pursuit of like, okay, well, now I got to figure out how to make the damn thing. How do I use a camera? How do I turn a light on so you can see me on the, it's really annoying that you have to have a light all the time, pretty much, unless you stand next to a window. And, but not too much light, you know what I mean? So there was like this naive sort of motivation to get into it. And then there was like all of the clunky details, just like learning how to record. Like, yeah, I just want to make a great drum recording, put the mic on there. It's like, well, it's not really that simple. There's a lot of things that go into it. It's the same exact thing with video. So I have somewhat of, you could call it healthy, you could call it an unhealthy, whatever it is. It's for sure an obsessive gene that I can sort of direct towards whatever my interest is in. And now to go back to like the guitar player and the singing and the songwriting thing, I just have never directed that obsession at those things. I've directed it at whatever the current pursuit is. And it has that pursuit has evolved over time. That's exactly how I've landed doing exactly what I'm doing. Those are the line of things I've been interested in that I've forced myself to become obsessed with to do exactly how I want to do it. And I'm very grateful. I'm so insanely lucky to get to do this thing that I get to do every day, because it really feels like I get to come in to my own studio and do whatever the hell I want every single day. Now it is a lot of stuff, and I could always get better, and I'm trying to apply that obsessive thing to like getting better every single day. But my point for you, hopefully in sharing my experience, is if you can find your obsessive gene and try to figure out how to direct it towards the thing that you're interested in, figure out how to measure that and if it's working or not, it can get you a lot further, even if you feel like you don't maybe have the talent. Because if you're obsessed, you will develop the talent. You will develop that skill, and just repetition and obsession will beat talent 100% of the time. I know a lot of really talented people who aren't obsessed, and they don't put in the effort and the repetition and the work. They don't need to. They're just happy being talented at whatever that thing is, and that's it. And I am jealous of them because they just have that talent. And I don't have it on that, so I have to obsess on the thing like a maniac until I can figure it out, until I can replicate it in my version of doing it, you know? And I had a phone call with a couple friends recently, and I just thought, like, man, this is like something I wish maybe I could articulate, or someone could have articulated to me when I was younger and I was starting. But if you can just harness that obsession that you have with your goals in whatever direction you have, and just exclusively point it in that direction and go and just repeat, you'll get better. And the also the fine print here is like there's no end. Okay, so like I spent almost 20 years I've been recording myself and other people on drums, and it's like I've gotten to go, let's theoretically say, to the very tippy top sessions with Matt Chamberlain, Aaron Sterling, Vinny Caliuta, a million other incredible drummers. Everything from those players to myself to local bands to session players here in Nashville. I still am obsessed with it. I still get a new stereo pair of mics and I go, let's hear this on overheads. I still am wheeling and dealing to trade out snares and to try new tuning or switch the snare wires and try, different dampening techniques and miking techniques. I'm still just as obsessed with it. And I promise you, you can ask my wife, my interns, every single time I record drums, I go, this is the greatest drum recording I've ever done. Every single time. If you're getting that fulfillment from what you're doing, then like you're doing the right thing. Like it should feel that good every single time. You should get that excitement out of it. If you are, then you're moving in the right direction. Then, if you haven't already, figuring out how to take that obsession and that skill that you've developed and to earn money from it, which should be pretty easy. If you're obsessed and you're doing it a lot, that means you've got a lot that you can show. You've made a lot of improvement. And one way to do it is to document it, is to film it, make videos. They could be terrible videos. If you're doing audio, kind of doesn't matter how good the video is, as long as the audio rules, as long as the parts are good. You can show that. Put it on a website. Put it on a YouTube channel. Put it on your Instagram, TikTok, whatever. Maybe no one watches it. Who cares? Put it up. You have something that you can send to somebody. Something that you can show, the proof of work that you've done, is going to go so much further than you think. Also, something that blew my mind early in this pursuit of making these YouTube videos that I didn't think about is you never know who's watching. You really never know who's watching, because I post this video, the only thing I'm going to see is, number of views, number of subscribers, watch time, click through, whatever. I'm going to get these sort of random metrics. But what happens occasionally is you meet someone you don't know, or maybe someone you do know and you really admire, and that person goes, hey, I saw that video that you posted of you doing that thing, and it was awesome. And when that moment happens and you're like, holy cow, that person saw this video? That video didn't even get a lot of views. I can't believe it. That's amazing. Okay, so like you really never know who's watching. So I think if I can encourage you to share your obsession, your skill, the journey you're on, your pursuit, if you can find a way to document it and publish it and share it with others, you will get so much value back from that you literally can't even imagine right now. Like you can't perceive that it's true because you don't know that it's possible. But it is possible, I promise. Do it. Just do it. Apply the obsession towards the thing you're trying to do. Document it, put it out there, and I promise you will get fulfillment, or you will at least fail and then get better, and then fail and get better more, and repeat and repeat and repeat. If you just keep repeating and you don't stop doing, or maybe you learn, like, hey, I've done this. Maybe I don't totally enjoy this like I thought I did, but I think I might really enjoy this thing here. Pivot. Try that. But be careful with the pivot. You don't want to pivot too much, because sometimes you're like right on the edge of breaking through like a new layer, and if you just keep going, you hit that. So I had to get that out. So hopefully you guys get some value from that. And this is sort of word vomiting a bunch of different experiences I've had throughout my whole career. And let me know if you have any questions. Leave some questions down below. What are you working on? What's your pursuit? What's your skill that you're obsessing over to get better at? What's the thing maybe you're not obsessing over that you also, do you have that? Do you categorize them like I do? I'll give you another little PS here at the end. I have been making, I work professionally on records, right? So I record and mix and mostly on the recording side, like tracking engineer, a little bit of production with other artists and other projects. And it's just a hodgepodge of stuff, right? So that's like the day gig, and I love that. I'm obsessed with that. But I also love sort of like messing around and making my own things. And since I don't do a lot of songwriting, I will do a lot of covers. And I know a lot of people that do this as well. And something that I've loved doing is working on a cover where I'm basically recreating the song, the whole production, part for part, because I want to know exactly how did they get this exact sound. I want to know how they got the guitars to sound like this, how they layered things with the bass and the whole mix. And then I also add in like, okay, well, what that was recorded 25 years ago. What if it was recorded now? Would it sound better? Is there something about how it sounds then? And so I've gone on this pursuit. I've got all of these covers that I've started. Most of them are like unfinished, because you get distracted and you have work and you have other things in your life. But I recently just finished a cover, and I actually sang the whole thing, which has been a big goal of mine. I've never felt comfortable with the sound of my voice. I've never felt comfortable with my ability to sing on pitch, to just sound good. And, no one really loves, some people do. Some people just, again, have that talent, and they do sound good. But I have had a real struggle with the sound of my voice, and I just finished a cover, and I think I'm going to, release it. I don't know if I'm going to put it under my name or if I'll invent some, artist name and put it out under that or something like that. But it feels really good to have completed that thing that is sort of the summation of my obsession with recording, production, drum sounds. And then for the vocals on that, this was like the one time where I really applied that obsession to getting a vocal take where I was like, okay, this is not that bad. I think I'm comfortable putting this out. So let me know what your thing is that you're working on. And if you think I should, let me know. And I also love to get your opinion on how to release. I don't know how to release covers, or I haven't put any energy into figuring that out. But I don't know. I was thinking of maybe doing it on like a Bandcamp thing to sort of have like a little measurement of it, but maybe put it on the streaming things. I'm not looking to get really like financial support from my covers, but I just, I put stuff on the internet all the time, so I am interested in like the measuring thing. So maybe we'll just put it out on stream. Anyway, that's all I got to say. If you have a project where you want some great sounding drums, hit me up, andrewmastersmusic.com. You can shoot me an email. I do remote drum recordings all the time. We're also working on a drum course. We did an in-person drum recording workshop. I think we're going to try and do another one soon. I just don't know if December is going to be a tough month for people. Also, if you're not already, go follow me on Instagram and TikTok. This is one of the things that I'm trying to get better at, which is doing the videos here in the wide way and then the videos there in the vertical way. And trying to just not be so in my head about sharing, what we do here on those platforms. Because honestly, it's interesting testing that kind of stuff on there. You reach a whole different audience, as I'm sure you guys have either seen or tried. And it's very challenging because you have to really fit it in a minute and a half. And could you imagine if I just did this 25-minute thing or whatever, however long this is, in a minute and a half? I don't know if maybe it would hit the same, but I don't think so. Anyway, if this thing resonated with you, share it with a friend. Hit subscribe to the channel, the like button, all that stuff. If you're interested in checking out gear and whatever you can to support the channel, hit the links down in the description. I put all kinds of cool stuff down there. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your weekend, week, whatever day it is when you watch this. Bye.